Hey everybody, and welcome to this video. This is going to be a makeup tutorial on this look that I have on right here, which is my Prom Glam makeup but on a budget. So basically all of the products that I use on my face are $15 and under, but also don't feel like you have to go out and buy all of these products. You probably have a lot of products in your collection that probably work just as fine for you. At the end of the video, I'll kind of tell you the products that I think you should go out and purchase if you want to get this look, as close as possible. You don't have to get all of the products. Like I said, you probably have foundation, concealer, eyeliner, the basics covered, so don't feel like you have to go out and use the same exact products. This is just kind of showing you that you can get a really beautiful prom look for everything under $15. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on makeup and high-end to get a beautiful, gorgeous look. Obviously, again, you don't have to use this for just prom. It could be any special occasion, anything where you want a bit more of a glam look, you can use it. And I really like it. I will be having other prom videos coming, like more prom on a budget type of videos where everything will be $15 and under, but I will do another variation of makeup look. So I'll do a more neutral, simple look if this is just like too much. This is like my glam look. And then I'll also do a smoky eye for those of you that want to be a little bit more dramatic. So I'll kind of give you guys different looks that you can do on a budget for your prom. You can also use it for, birthdays, weddings, homecomings, whatever you want to use it for. It doesn't just have to be prom, but since it's prom season, I figured I would kind of cater to you prom beauties. So if you want to see how I got this look and what products I used, go ahead and just keep on watching. Alright, so I'm going to start off by priming my face, and I like to always start off with a primer water, and this one is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Coconut Priming Water. They have a couple of different versions, but I just love anything coconut, so this is definitely my favorite one. But I think they also have a rose one and a cucumber one, if I'm not mistaken. So I just go ahead and spray that on my face and kind of fan it a little bit to let it dry. So now I'm going to go ahead and go into a more smoothing and pore filling primer. So for that, I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So for this primer, I just like to focus it on the center of my face and then kind of go towards the outer parts of my face. Since for me, I have the biggest pores and I get the most oily in my T-zone, so I just like to focus it there first. So most of the product goes there and then disperse it to the rest of my face. So while we go ahead and let those primers sink in, I'm going to move on to the eyes, and I'm going to start off with my eyebrows, and I'm going to be using my favorite eyebrow pencil, which is the Colourpop Brow Boss pencil, and I'm going to be using the shade Soft Black today. I'm also going to be going in with a brow pomade, so I'm just going to be using this pencil to kind of get the shape of my brow down and then fill it in with the pomade. And you can totally fill in your whole eyebrow with a pencil or a pomade or whatever you want to use. Personally, I just feel like with a more dramatic look, I just want a little bit more dramatic brows. But also, it's just personal preference. Do your brows however you're most comfortable, because you want to make sure that on your prom day, you're doing your makeup how you're comfortable, so you're not like fussing over it or like stressing over your makeup all night. You just want to have it done and go. And also just make sure you are doing like a practice run beforehand, just so when the day comes you kind of know what you want to do and you don't have to stress over anything. And my eyebrows haven't been shaped in a while, so they're kind of like a bit crazy right now. So the shape is gonna be like, I don't even know. Who even knows? Every day I don't even know how like my eyebrows are gonna come out. So it's just a surprise every time. It's like a fun little game I play with my eyebrows. What shape are you gonna come out today? Then I'm going to go in with my favorite brow pomade. This is the Makeup Revolution Brow Pomade. Honestly, there's so many affordable pomades from the drugstore. LA Girl has one, e.l.f. has one, NYX has one. So honestly, you can use whichever one. I just really like the Makeup Revolution one, so that's the one I'm going to use today. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my Catrice eyebrow filler, and this is like $3, I think. It's super inexpensive, but it's like one of my favorite drugstore brow setters. I feel like it really helps to kind of soften up the brows, but also give it like a more filled effect. It's just really, really nice, and I really like it. So I'm also just going to go ahead and clean up my brows. And you can use any concealer that you have on hand. You can use a more thicker one. You can use the same one that you're going to be using under your eyes. To save a little bit of money, you can just use the one that you're already going to be using on your face later on. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to be using the NYX HD Concealer, which is one of my favorite drugstore concealers. It's so good and so inexpensive. And I'm using the shade Tan, which is pretty close to my skin tone, because I don't want to really do any highlighting today. If that's your preference, you can totally go in with a lighter shade. Alright, and so now I'm going to go on to the eyes, and I'm going to be using this Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas. They also do have a like lock and loaded eyeshadow base or something like that. This is also an eyeshadow base, so you can use like the eyeshadow primer, the eyeshadow base, whatever you want to use. And I believe this is only $9, and you get so much product. So this is just kind of what I had on hand that fit the price point, but it's a really good primer and I like it. Also, if you just wanted to save a little bit more money, you could just go in with your concealer to prime your lids if you don't have super oily eyelids. If you have oily eyelids, I would go in with a more mattifying primer. You definitely want to tend to your oiliness just to kind of keep it at bay throughout the night. So a mattifying primer will just help to keep your eyelids a little less oily, so you don't have to worry about your eyeshadow creasing. Then just go in with a little bit of translucent powder and set that base. Alright, now for the eyes, I'm going to be going in with this I Heart Revolution Nude Chocolate little mini eyeshadow palette, and I love this thing so much. I used it for my birthday, and it's so pigmented and so good, and it's only $7. Like, I was so surprised. So yeah, I wasn't really expecting like too much because it's only like a $7 palette, but let me tell you, girl, they did that. So I'm gonna just start off with this more like salmony toned color in the crease. And this is a really pretty base shade. I like that it doesn't go on super duper pigmented, which I like with like my base shades, just because I don't want it to be too pigmented as soon as you go in, because I want to slowly build it up. That way if you want a lighter base, it's easier, and then if you want a darker base, you can just go ahead and add more product. So with the lighter shades, I don't mind if it's a little more sheer, because that way it's a little bit more workable in the crease as a base, if that makes sense. Then I'm going to go in over here with this more warm tone brown and place that in the crease and a little bit in the outer V, and just go ahead and start blending that in. Hello.
As you can see, I was just talking on the phone really quickly right here, but I'm just going to go ahead and continue blending that brown into the crease in the outer V just to build up the intensity, and then we'll come back in a minute to the next color.
Alright, and then the last thing I'm going to do for my crease is go in with this cooler toned brown and a smaller, more precise brush and focus this right on the outer corner. I'm just kind of building and deepening up our outer corner.
So to help with the blending, you want to make sure that you're going back in with those older brushes that have leftover shadow from the previous shadows and using those to really blend out that crease, because this is going to help you make sure that those lines are super blended and there's no harsh lines right there.
Okay, and then for the lid, I'm going to go in with this super pretty, like sparkly, kind of pinky champagne color. It is so gorgeous and so pigmented. Like, how beautiful is that? There's also like a more bronzy brown tone, so if your dress is more of that color, you think it would suit it more, you could definitely go in with that. I'm just kind of using my brush and the shadow to cut the crease a little bit. And this is the color without spraying it. Like, this is just dry by itself. So I was just super shocked and amazed at the quality of these shimmers. Like, the mattes are really nice and blendable and everything, but these shimmers are what really like made me impressed. Look at that. So I haven't done this before, but I feel like I'm just gonna spray it just to kind of see what that does to the shadow. I feel like it's just gonna make it super beautiful and foiled, even though it's super pretty on its own without spraying it. I just want to spray it just to intensify it a little bit. So just cracked the shit out of that. So I'm just gonna take some on my brush and spray it with that primer spray that we used earlier, and just pat that right on top. And you just see it just makes it a little bit more vibrant and a little bit more like wet looking. Super pretty. Very nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to go back into that little mini blending brush and just make sure the edges of that glitter kind of blend in nicely to the outer corner. You just want to make sure everything is super nicely blended and you don't have any harsh lines. And then just for an extra pop of extraness, glitter, and just to be a little bit more extra, I'm going to take this NYX liquid crystal liner, and this one is in the shade Crystal Silk.
Hey guys, voice over me here again, just to let you guys know, kind of warn you, and just be super transparent. As you can see in this video, I did have some issues later on with this glitter liner. It was flaking off and I could kind of just peel it right off of my eye, but I have had these for a super long time, and NYX doesn't even sell this line anymore. They have a new glitter liner line called the Glitter Goals, so hopefully if you get that you won't run into these issues, because like I said, I've never had this issue with it before, but it is super old, so I just wanted to kind of let you guys know and be transparent. So let's go ahead and hop back into the video.
And I'm actually just going to make like a glitter liner right in the crease, up halfway. And NYX has so many glitter liners. This isn't the only one that they have available, so you can totally do this with like any color glitter liner, and I think they're only like $7 or $8. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go off camera really quickly and just kind of cut my lashes to my eye shape and apply the glue so that it can dry a little bit before we place them on. And I'm going to be using the Eylure number 126 lashes. I just recently discovered these and they are so good. I didn't used to really like the Eylure lashes because they do have a bit of a thicker band. So if you're not super familiar with lashes, you might want to go with the Ardell Studio Effect Wispy lashes. Those are very pretty, a little bit more natural than these ones. These ones are just a little bit more full, but it's a lot easier to place those on just because the band is a lot thinner. So it's up to you, whichever lash you want. They're both really good. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera really quickly, and then we'll come back and do a little bit of liner and mascara and then move on to the face. Alright, so while that glue dries on my eyelashes a little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit of liner to the base of my lashes just to kind of blend in the false lashes a little bit easier. And I'm just going to do a really thin liner. I'm not going to wing it out or anything since we do have a pretty dramatic eye already going on. So I'm just doing a very thin line at the base. And this is the Catrice Glam and Doll Super Black Liner. Now I'm just going to go ahead and curl and apply a little bit of mascara to prep my lashes for the falsies. And I'm just going to be using my e.l.f. Smudge Proof Mascara. Alright, and so now I'm just going to go ahead and apply those falsies. Alright, so really quickly I'm just going to go ahead and line the inner waterline just so that my lashes kind of blend a little bit better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the face. So now I'm just going to go ahead and mix together my foundation. So I'm going to be taking the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. This is by far my favorite drugstore foundation, hands down. It is so good. It's super full coverage and it lasts all night. It's so amazing. I really like it. I do have a first impression and wear test on it if you guys want to see it in action, but honestly, if I was doing a drugstore prom look and I was going to prom, this would definitely be my choice of foundation because it just looks flawless and it lasts so long. And so I'm actually going to be mixing a little bit of the LA Girl Mixing Pigment in Yellow just because this line tends to run a little bit more on the peachy side and I have a more yellow undertone. But if this matches you, you don't even need this. But I think if you do have a yellow undertone, this is a great product to have just because a lot of drugstore foundations and just foundations in general tend to run a little bit more on the warmer side. So it's really nice to just give a pop of yellow undertone into your foundations, and it's super easy and inexpensive. Alright, and now I'm just going to go in with my concealer, and I'm actually going to be taking the shade Golden and not Tan just because it's a little bit lighter. Honestly, you don't need both. You could have used this one for your eyebrows as well. I just didn't realize that Tan was so close to my skin tone. So because I want a little bit of a highlight under my eyes, I'm going to take the shade Golden. Okay, and now just to set my under eyes, I'm going to be taking my favorite drugstore loose powder, and this is the number 7 Perfect Light Translucent Loose Powder. And just pat that into underneath my eyes. I'm not going to bake, just going to really press that in to lock in the concealer. And then do the same on the other side. And if you have excess, just kind of take it around the base. But just really using this powder to set that foundation. This is really going to help it to last all night long. So now I'm going to go in with my favorite drugstore bronzer, and this is actually a brand new one just because my other one cracked. I was trying to depot it and it completely cracked and it was just a hot mess. Yeah, this one is in the shade Deep Bronze. I'm just using this to bring some life back to my face, not have us looking so two-dimensional. Now to contour, I'm going to be taking my Milani Suntan Silky Matte Bronzing Powder. It looks like that. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and spray my face one more time to really lock in the makeup. Then what I like to do when it's almost dry is just really press it in with my sponge towards the center of my face. Lastly, we're going to go ahead and line our lips, and I'm going to be using the NYX Glide On, Stay On, and Definitely Don't Turn On Waterproof Extreme Color Lip Liner in Need Me. This for me is like a really nice, like almost my color lips, just a little bit more color, you know? Alright, I'm going to go in with this Amore Satin Matte Lip Cream from Milani in the shade Lavish. And just take a little bit. It's a really pretty nude. I'm just going to add this Dumpling Gloss from Colourpop. I think it was part of the Catrice, like her second round. And this way it's still a nude lip, but instead of being more of a brown nude lip, just gives a little bit of color and like a little bit of a more corally shade and ties into the eyes a little bit better. But it's up to you. You can do whatever lip combination is best for you and you like. Obviously modify all of these steps to your liking. I really love the way that this makeup look turned out. It really shows that you don't have to spend a ton of money on high-end products to get a really beautiful, gorgeous look. You can use products that are under $15 and get a beautiful look. So obviously all of these products together, if you're buying them all, it's going to be a lot of money, but you don't have to use the exact products that I use. If you're going to get anything from this video to kind of make your look, I would say definitely get the eyeshadow palette, which is only $7, the foundation, which is $12, and the glitter, which I think is like $8 or $9, and the powder which is like, I forget, I think it's like a little bit high. I think it's like $13 or $14. But those four things right there, and I think that's like under $50. And then everything else that you already have in your collection probably. Also the lashes, but you can get any lashes, but the lashes were only $6. So all of that is still, I think, under like $50. And you can just use all the other products you probably already have. You probably already have bronzer and blush and contour and eyeliner and highlighter. So those things, if you have them in your collection already, you don't have to go out and buy the same ones that I have. Just use what you have in your collection and kind of just take the gist of this makeup tutorial and apply it to your prom makeup. But yeah, hopefully you guys liked this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. I would really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos just like this one. Like I said, I will have other prom on a budget videos coming, a more simple neutral look and also like a smoky eye. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys options for a prom beauty on a budget. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.